Good afternoon. My name is Alberto Jimenez, and I lead the payments and order management business of Watson Commerce, the newly launched IBM unit called Watson Commerce. Today, we are very excited with the IBM team, and I, myself, we are very excited to introduce IBM Pay. And I want to tell you why this is such a big milestone for us. IBM has a long history of contributions to the payments industry. There are many examples to that, of that. One of them is we invented the barcode in the 50s. We were the first ones to place a magnetic stripe on a plastic card in the 60s. We also deployed the first point-of-sale terminal in the 70s here in the US. And even today, the majority of the transactions, card transactions in the world are processed on IBM hardware. But even with all of that, this offering, IBM Pay, is our first ever mobile payments software offering. And you may be thinking, why are we doing this? Why now? So like those other examples, we saw an inflection point. We saw an opportunity in the market. And we think we found a place where there's going to be a viable path to a scale. So let's talk about that. First, let me clarify that, as probably all of you know, IBM sell to the enterprise. We don't have consumer-facing offerings, and this one as well is not a consumer-facing offering. IBM Pay is a white label mobile payment solution for merchant, retailers, and other brands that want to white label and brand their own solution and take it to market. As you probably know, every survey for the last few years has confirmed that consumers are ready to check out with their mobile devices, are ready to pay in store with their mobile devices. But only merchants, and this is the inflection point that we were talking about, only merchants have really the levers, the tools, the incentives to change consumer behavior in a store. So let's talk about adoption. There are many stakeholders in the retail payments value chain. But very important, all of them very important roles and very valuable contributions to that, to moving money around. However, there are only two stakeholders that determine adoption for payments: the sender, the consumer, and the receiver, the business. There are only two. And it is about them. It's about changing their behavior. Changing their behavior is the only way to really see scale in payments. So let's talk about the value proposition of the first group, of the second group, actually, the merchants. If you're a big merchant in the US, if you're a retailer, you have been spending billions of dollars in building engagement programs, loyalty programs, rewards, coupons. And the reason why they do that is because it actually, when consumers actually adopt those programs, it actually drives revenue. It grows the business. However, even today, the majority of us in the US, we actually identify ourselves with barcodes in keychains when we go to a supermarket or a drugstore in a physical form. Also, only 1% of all coupons are actually redeemed. So think about the possibilities of digitizing all of that, digitizing all of those programs, those that drive revenue, into a single container and bring them together with payments. That's the key value proposition of this offering for retailers. The other one, which is very important, is a top priority for the finance organizations of these big merchants, is the ability to steer consumers to lower cost payments instruments. This solution gives the merchant that ability, the ability to decide which instruments can be loaded into the container. So now let's talk about the consumers, all of us. And let me, if you're like me, there are maybe 3 or 4 or maybe 5 stores where you usually go there, you are loyal to those stores. It may be because they're closer to your home. It may be because you value their quality. And when I'm in those stores, I want to be rewarded for my loyalty. I want to make sure that every discount, every promotion, every benefit that is available, I have visibility and I can use. But of course, I don't do that. I don't have the time to go and research. I don't have to match the time to match these things. I always forget the physical items that I would need to bring them. And in case I do, I need to use two apps, one to engage and one to pay. So the value proposition for the consumers is bringing those two things together with speed. But let's assume you actually take the time. I don't think anyone does anymore, but let's assume you actually take the time to collect these items and try to participate in these discounts. Then you're holding the line, the queue, when you're paying, because it takes time. There's a lot of friction of applying all of these loyalty programs in a checkout environment. Our solution is all about making that frictionless and fast and seamless for the consumer. Two other considerations for the consumer are the fact that you don't need to think about the operating system of your device. You don't need to think about the brand or the version or if you have the antenna or not. This is all, it is agnostic. The solution that we're introducing today is agnostic to any technology consideration at the device level. And very important, as we all know, one of the main hurdles for adoption is security. So what you can expect from IBM, we're bringing industrial-grade security to this offering. We are combining fingerprint security, fingerprint identification with a token vault that stores payments credentials in the cloud. There's nothing in the device, and if anyone gets access to those payments credentials, they're tokenized. So we think that that's the type of value proposition that will put consumers, merchants at ease with any security concerns. So, so with that, let me finish by asking you to join us and visit the IBM booth, booth 1033, or visit our website. You can see it here. We would be delighted to connect with you, to respond to any questions that you may have about the offering, and that's it. Thank you very much.